Telkom's first half headline earnings per share slumped 81% to 37 cents, largely dragged down by the impact of the penalty imposed by the Competition Tribunal, higher employee expenses and lower fixed line revenue. For more, Dobek Pata, telco analyst at Africa Analysis, joins us in studio. Your thoughts on where Telkom is going right now? It's either the hottest property from a valuation perspective and we should all be loading up on this stock, or there's no hope.
Keep your ear to the ground and see when investors are going to start buying up the share, I suppose, to recover the losses. But it's difficult to say at this point in time, until such time, I think, as the government actually provides clarity on what it wants to do with Telkom as of next year or in the near to medium term future. And we won't really know, I think, fully as public till about March next year when the government publishes its sort of plan on how it wants to deploy broadband and how it's going to use state-owned enterprises to achieve that. Because now we know the government's got an aim. It wants to achieve 100% broadband penetration by 2020. We don't know how it wants to get there. And unfortunately, Telkom's stuck in the middle as the vehicle that may be used to drive that.
I'll tell you what worried me. I'm not a Telkom fan by any means, but what concerned me was just how poor they're penetrating in areas that we actually thought that they would govern and be in control of, like data, like ADSL lines, and so on. You know, if you look at those numbers, they're awful. So they're even losing ground in areas in which they should be in control.
Yeah, correct. And so there are some reasons for that are external to Telkom. Some of it is Telkom internal. Some are external. For instance, copper theft, for instance. You know, after your lines have been stolen 3 times, Telkom will refuse to reinvest in that copper loop. It will provide wireless, which is not quite the same quality of an ADSL line normally. So you know, so that's part of the reason. But I think the main reason is really competition, and there are a lot of good deals from mobile operators who provide decent services and improving on 3G. Once they start moving into LTE, which is an even faster and better quality service over the next couple of years, they'll really start giving Telkom even more run for its money, particularly when they start really targeting the small to medium-sized enterprises. And a lot of people do prefer mobility, despite the fact that fixed data lines are in general better quality. But you know, you want to use it at home, you want to use it at the office and roam around town.
Viv, fire off your question.
You mentioned LTE. Of course, technology changes, as we all know. And Telkom has to have a large, I would think a very large recapitalization in terms of actually upgrading its infrastructure, getting involved in the new technology, etc. Unfortunately, the current market cap, how is it possible that the company is going to be able to raise that money? I mean, the market probably won't lend them at any reasonable rate. Is government probably going to step in and have to basically backstop them?
Well, that's what remains to be seen. But they also have some cash that they're sitting on, which they can use. So the government may decide to subsidize Telkom and use it as a vehicle going forward. I think one thing we need to remember about LTE deployment, the actual radio network that provides the last mile connection, is that it does need fiber optic backhaul in order to make it viable. Otherwise, it's no good to you because it won't be able to provide the throughput of traffic that's necessary to provide very good quality, high-speed broadband services. And Telkom is one of those companies that can provide that.
Business Unity head, Jabu Mabuza, in as chairman. Are you expecting fireworks from him?
Not necessarily. I think interesting choice, perhaps. Maybe more politics than commercial.
So the market hasn't responded positively?
No, it's been some positive move on the share, but maybe it's just in general about the story that Telkom told.
So when do we start buying, Dobek? When should we start buying?
I won't tell you when we start buying, but I think you know, with Dimension Data, when it was at 9, I think, rands at one point, I thought time to buy, and then next thing I knew it was 3 rands, and then everyone else bought.
So the bottom line is heed caution.
Do you know what the market cap is? It staggered me. It's 8 billion. 8 billion rand. That's all. That's the size of Omnia.
So you're going to buy it?
No, because this can come down to 0. You know, this can go that way. I mean, it's heading that way unless they get control of it, unless they put proper management team and stem the kind of losses or falls that we're seeing now. This thing can go to 0. And Adobe made a very good point. If they want to raise capital, on what base do they raise that capital? You know, what assets do they have? What earnings do they have to actually recapitalize it? Not much without a government loan.
So this is a serious situation.
I suppose the good news is that we don't have much longer to wait, just 3 months. How much damage can be done in 3 months?
All right, gentlemen, I'm going to leave it there. I think let's let Telkom rest this evening.